Hello there.
Welcome back to Jedi Knights. This is episode 16. I'm your moderator, Christian Buckley, joined by Mike Connors.
That's me.
Do you ever get introduced as Michael?
Some people call me Michael. That is my real given birth name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care either way, Mike
Yeah.
or Michael. I guess I prefer Mike.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I've always known you, so.
Yeah. Does anybody call you Christ?
I'm glad that that's the direction you went with that joke.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I've heard a million things about my name before. It's like, oh, are you a Christian?
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
Are you?
I think. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Christian, Catholic, I know there's some difference. I should know what I am.
I guess it doesn't really matter. To some people, it does.
Yeah. You believe in the Force?
Of course, I believe in the Force. 'Cause this is Jedi Knights.
Yes.
Podcast.
Star Wars podcast. Get out of here, religion.
Yeah. Except, I believe in Jediism.
I believe.
You ever seen those documentaries about those guys who pretend that they're Jedi, but
No.
they are actually they follow the religious code of it.
I know that Jedi is a registered religion in
Yeah.
whatever book keeps track of those things now. That was a headline in 2013, I think.
Oh, okay.
I will bet you that those people are not going to like The Rise of Skywalker, whatever happens.
I bet. Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about today. Pat Maroney's still on assignment, so he sadly cannot make it for this episode, but he will be returning for our review and ranking of
We got those tickets.
episode 9. We do have those tickets. Mike, the first thing I want to say before we dive in, I mentioned this when we talked The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I still don't feel like this is the climactic conclusion to the saga I grew up with.
No, definitely not.
And I see some people being like, "Oh, I've grown up with Star Wars. It's bittersweet." I'm not buying it.
Really?
No.
I think it's bittersweet only in the sense that I do believe Disney that they're gonna end the Skywalker saga.
But can you sit there confidently and tell me that Luke Skywalker is never going to be portrayed by Mark Hamill ever again?
Absolutely not, dude, because you know why? They make too much money.
Yeah.
They make way too much money.
Yeah.
So probably not, but I mean, I do believe that they won't make an episodic movie like this in this saga anymore, after episode 9.
Do you think we'll get a new episode 1 eventually?
Yeah.
Or are they going to ditch episode?
I don't know. Probably, and they'll just subtitle each of them.
Is episode 10 just going to be like 1,000 years after the saga ends and then
Yeah,
roll from there?
They're actually gonna wait another 30 years,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna do episode 10.
Because honestly, that was one of the things people were speculating, I think, when Force Awakens came out, of once this trilogy was over, do the side stories, which are now coming to Disney Plus, and then maybe wait 10 years and then pick up again with Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, they'll definitely be back in the roles.
I don't think this is the end. I'm
No.
glad we're on the same page.
It has to be like I said, they make too much money, and I've heard recently all 3 of them say that they're kind of done with it. But that's that's
Didn't
the
Mark
biggest-
Hamill say that in the 80s too?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Christian, for our audio listeners, Christian just gave the biggest eye roll.
I'm
ever.
sure they heard that.
Yeah, I'm sure you heard it, and honestly, that's how I feel when I hear them say that they're not going to return to their roles.
Yeah, and I think it's also interesting to talk about, and I think this is warranted. Earlier this year, similar sort of approach to this climactic ending with Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And even then, when people are like, "Oh, the MCU is ending," it's like, shut the hell up. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's I saw all these people being like, "Oh, this is when I'm gonna stop caring about Marvel because I should like other movies." One, it's possible to do both, and two, Endgame, I think, for that 10-year straight saga, did sort of feel like a conclusion in a way, but it also acted as a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're trying to market this movie in relation to Endgame, because I am thinking about these two movies on the same level the Monday before we go see it.
I think because it is the Monday before we go see it, we have not seen this movie yet.
Yeah.
So I think there's a possibility that by the end of this, 2.5 hour long movie,
Mm-hmm.
right, something like that, we're gonna feel a little bit different.
For sure, yeah.
There's a possibility of that.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, how it stands, I don't really think so.
Okay.
Anything could happen though
Mhm.
in this movie that could solidify
Do you-
maybe it is over. I don't know.
Yeah, it very could well be the end in some capacity. And we're gonna dive into predictions in
Yeah.
a second. I just wanted to get that base level I'm not buying it statement out of the way at
Okay.
first. And even if it does feel like a finale, still not gonna buy it, you know?
I do think that they're ending like this saga
Yeah, for at least a while.
for at least a while. I think there's a possibility it might come back.
Yeah.
But for now, I do believe them.
Okay. I wanted to bring this up also because of Endgame and because of the Marvel formula, I guess. Endgame, in my opinion, sort of went against the Marvel formula because it got stretched out and it feels like two different movies. There's like, based on what we've seen to some extent, I do feel like they are going to try to get that third act big epic fight that we had in Endgame,
Yeah.
but with Star Wars.
I just really hope that they can make it work.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that, like, I don't know. Star Wars, like, the end of every Star Wars movie is some big epic fight for the most part.
I think this is going to be on another level, though.
I know. It makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
They could overdo it.
They totally could.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and
It made sense in Endgame.
it did.
It made, like, total sense in Endgame.
Yes.
I'm not sure how much sense it's going to make.
Yeah, and I have some predictions of like
Yeah.
things that I don't even know if this would be good, but it's kind of things I'm hoping to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You want to get into them?
yeah, let's get into it.
Should
Mentioning.
we do popular theories first?
Yeah, we can start there.
All right.
Worth mentioning though.
Okay.
What was the last promotional thing you've seen for this movie? Because
Okay.
we're kind of cutting off
Yeah.
social media today.
Yeah, I did see something that I probably shouldn't have. though.
Well, what was that a TV spot or was it?
It was like that released clip that they had.
Oh, the Fortnite thing.
I didn't see
Oh.
that.
Also, kind of news, I guess. On Saturday, Fortnite had an event where they showed off a Star
Oh,
Wars
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
JJ was there.
I don't play Fortnite.
I don't either, but well, I don't anymore. But
Yeah, not anymore.
yeah, they showed a clip, so that's cool.
I don't know if I don't think I saw that, but what I did see was
I heard there was a thing
yeah,
where
I
a
don't
certain
wanna- I don't know if I
emperor
wanna say. Yeah.
appeared.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Or got a tease.
That's what I saw.
Okay.
And it did reveal something,
Okay.
which I wish I didn't really know.
Oh man, okay, that scares me.
But it was kind of something that was just like obvious,
Okay.
but like wasn't confirmed yet. Let's
Okay.
just leave it at that. But that was the last thing that I
Okay. The last thing I saw, well, like I've tried to look away when I've seen ads on Instagram or Twitter where it's playing the Duel of the Fates, like the reorchestration of the, or you know more music terms than I do. What is it?
I mean,
Rearrangement.
rearrangement.
Yeah. Okay. Of the Duel of Fates. So chills whenever I hear that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the last like main thing I saw outside of posters was the trailer we reacted to.
Okay.
So
You haven't seen many of the spots or anything.
I
like
I
that?
try to avoid those because I feel like those are
I've seen a lot of those.
those
too.
dip into spoilers way more. I feel like
I've seen a lot of those.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've done a really bad job of keeping myself completely blackout because I just get too excited. But I would say that I haven't dipped into the theories as much,
Okay.
just like what they've pushed out. So the only thing that I expect is really just what I've come up with in my own head.
Okay.
So,
So that's where we're standing sort of at the moment with what's official.
Yeah.
Popular theories. I have a few in my head that I've heard before. I kind of stopped looking into them. I told you around October because I remember things were starting to like actually leak a couple months ago.
yeah, I really tried to stay away from a lot of these. Things.
Yeah. So the first one that I want to pitch to you that I've heard,
Yeah.
I read it on Reddit, I think in September.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I doubt it.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is not something we previously discussed.
No,
Oh.
I don't think so. So the theory is that Rey is Anakin's twin,
Okay.
and because there's so many pairings, there's so many twins, twin sons, Luke and Leia,
Mhm.
so many couplings in Star Wars,
Sure.
that when Palpatine made Shmi pregnant with
Right.
the midi-chlorians, he was
she birthed two.
yes, and he like kept Rey on ice. He's like, just in case.
But like Shmi doesn't remember that.
Well, she could have like he could have been like, oh, she died. You know,
It's possible. Yeah.
because if you like, you're giving birth on Tatooine, you know,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there's much support.
Or he stole her and was like, "You're never talking about this again."
Yeah, and then he froze her for like 3 decades, and then thawed her out and dropped her off on Jakku. Had someone do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a theory.
That is a theory.
That is a theory. That is something that could have possibly happened.
So there's that one.
I'm not sure what I feel about that one.
It's kind of cheesy, but I kind of like it.
It is a little cheesy
Because it ties in the prequels in a way that we really haven't reached yet in this trilogy. And it kind of gives some sort of credence as to why Rey is
so powerful
with the Force.
So, yeah, about that let's just walk back a little bit.
Sure.
Do you think Kylo Ren was like lying to Rey in the throne room? Do you think Rey actually like is related to some sort of legacy character or related to somebody in the universe, or is she really no one?
So I hope she's no one, personally.
Yeah, me too.
Because I really like the idea that she's just this force of nature, or like she's something to correct the imbalance that happened that got us in this situation after we were kind of balanced at the end of 6. So I like her in that role, and I hope, like, if they want to make her someone, I'd be okay if she was a Kenobi.
Yeah.
But that's the extent of it.
I would be okay if she was like a Skywalker somewhere or down the line.
Well, that puts a wrench in your Reylo theory, doesn't it? All your Reylo shippers out there.
That's true. Actually, I don't wish she was a Skywalker because I want Reylo to happen.
Okay. So, yeah, in terms of her explanation and her lineage, if they want to make her a Skywalker, I think just get ridiculous with it and make her Anakin's twin. I feel like that'd be super fun.
That would be ridiculous. It would be fine, I guess.
Another theory I heard was that in some sort of last-ditch effort to save whoever at the end of this movie, Rey gets tossed into the world between worlds, gets spit out before episode 1, and is actually Anakin's mom. I've heard that one.
You've heard that?
Yes, I've heard that.
That's some crazy stuff right there.
I like the twin theory better.
Yeah.
And then like they were saying, oh, the saga would end with Rey like holding her stomach and standing out looking at the twin sons.
And she's Shmi.
Yeah. That's stupid. I don't like that really.
I don't really like that. That just implies the entire thing
is cyclical.
It just happens again and again.
Well,
and again.
I guess you could argue to a point that all these trilogies and Luke's entire arc in the original trilogy was about cycles, and Kylo Ren stepping in to end the cycle in Last Jedi.
It would be very like unbecoming of her though.
Yeah.
She's been hyped up to be this like crazy Jedi essentially, and then she's Shmi Skywalker.
Yeah. So I don't really like that.
I don't like that one.
If they want to do something connecting her to Anakin, I do think the twin thing is fun and it fits with the themes of everything.
Yeah.
And it introduces not necessarily something as crazy as time travel, but we've seen carbon freezing before. You know, that can work.
It's possible.
Those are the two biggest ones I've seen online. And again, this was cutting it off around beginning of October.
Yeah, I haven't seen many. The biggest one is that Rey is a clone.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, we haven't talked about that one.
Yeah. This one I believe could be very true.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know about it like more than I do? Because I just know that like Rey is a clone. Like that's the only thing.
So I get the original opening for episode 7 was supposed to be Luke's hand and the lightsaber floating through space, and then people thought Rey was cloned from Luke's hand.
Okay.
So that is something that existed in 7. That's obviously gone nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that idea. There is the idea that Rey is a clone of Palpatine. That was sort of...
Yeah, I've heard like this thing that Palpatine took over Kamino at some point and like used it for his own purposes, and there's like a bunch of Rey clones.
Yeah, and I know people have used the scene in The Last Jedi with the mirror tunnel to sort of point to that. When I first saw that scene, I didn't think clones. Honestly, when I was in that theater, I forgot clones were a thing in Star Wars because they have barely touched on it since the Clone Wars.
I thought it was symbolism for like there are many of you and you're just really nobody.
Well, I kind of took it as like the only one she can rely on is herself,
Okay.
because there's so many of her. It's like, hey, you're the piece in this puzzle. Like, you can't rely on anyone. It's you.
You should have been an English major.
Then I couldn't do podcasts though.
Yeah, no, true. You wouldn't know how to operate this machinery.
Yeah, I barely do now. But
Untrue, Christian.
oh, thanks, Mike. Yeah. So I would you be disappointed if she turned out to be a clone?
Yes,
Me too.
really disappointed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said earlier that I wanted her to be nobody, which I think that would be the most bold option.
Yeah.
And
Be poetic.
it would be poetic, and it's still maybe true.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think she's probably related to somebody, and I do think J.J. Abrams is the type of guy who would be like, Kylo was lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the other things I'm worried about. Like, we were talking episode 9 at the start of this,
Yeah.
just going in with the idea of it being a blockbuster in 2019. I think there's a discussion to be had about episode 9 being the movie that follows up The Last Jedi. Technically follows up Solo, but
Yeah,
like
that's true.
chronologically it follows up The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I think. Do you think it has to like answer for a lot of the things that The Last Jedi does? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think The Last Jedi makes some pretty strong stances on things that I think... I know they've said that this isn't the case, and I believe JJ when he says he likes the artistic choices of 8, but there's parts of me that like are really scared that he's gonna backpedal on a lot of things,
Yeah, it's possible.
because like I really don't know. Like, I made the joke to you that I saw that tweet of like, it scares me that Kylo Ren is literally gluing his mask back together.
Yeah, it's like literally, it's very symbolic of like what I feel like this movie's going to be. Unfortunate for some people.
Yeah. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that the marketing is kind of just selling that, you know, as far as like, oh, don't worry, we're going to fix things to like get people in. Because I guess going into this, before the marketing started going for this movie, people were still kind of sour on the brand.
I mean, they never really said that they're fixing things. They never really said that they...
Well, JJ has come out and said he's not. He's
Has
not
he?
fixing things.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I believe him.
I don't know if I believe him either. It would be really bold, though, if they were just like, if they just doubled down.
Oh, I hope that's what happens.
It's very possible that they might just be like, you know what? Ryan Johnson took this trilogy in a weird direction.
And we're going
It's
with it.
not worth reversing, so let's just go with it.
Cause
And you know what? That may, in retrospect, make The Last Jedi better. It's possible. It's possible.
this is my dream, Mike.
It would really be something else.
Let-
Like it would be very cool.
Let me clarify my hype. I don't think The Last Jedi needs to get better, but for the people that don't enjoy it,
Yeah.
if 9 could make it more enjoyable for them, please.
You never know, because context makes a lot of things better.
Yeah, and we talked about this with Empire. That kind of happened with that trilogy.
Yeah, totally.
People weren't hot on Empire. Took a while.
Yeah. So
Return of the Jedi made it more complete.
yeah, we never know what the Rise of Skywalker is going to do, or it could just be a
Train
complete,
wreck.
a complete reversal, and J.J. Abrams is sitting there and he's like, yeah, that's not what Star Wars is about.
Yeah. I'm really like, I think the best way to describe my opinions on this movie right now is indifferent. I'm
Yeah,
excited that I
yeah.
get to see a new Star Wars movie.
Me too. Yeah.
And I'm excited for all the Force Awakens fan servicey moments of like,
it
here's
feels-
this music.
Yeah, it does feel like a holiday
Yeah.
that's coming up. It's
Yeah.
it means a lot
Yeah.
to the both of us.
Yeah.
But
Also doing this show, leading up to it,
very true. Makes it a lot sweeter.
for sure. I know you have a lot of your own ideas.
Not a ton.
Well, a couple.
A few.
Do you want to dive into those?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So the biggest thing that I have
Mhm.
is at some point in this movie, I really want to see Rey struggle with the dark side.
Looks like we're getting that.
It looks like we're getting that. I want to see. I really want to see like Rey be corrupted by like the Emperor
Mhm.
in some way, and like have Kylo Ren like a role reversal almost.
Okay. Do you think it would come to that, or like would you be satisfied if it was just like a weird trip, like a vision?
I wouldn't be satisfied if it was a vision.
Would you count like on the level thematically of like Luke fighting Vader in the cave. Would you like equate it to that, or do you want like a full blown? She has a red lightsaber now. He has a blue one.
No, I want it to be like full blown, like
Okay.
she turns.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, I think that she's been a little too perfect in this trilogy. So I think it would be interesting to see her struggle with that, like actually like realize her strength with the Force
Mm-hmm.
and listen to the Emperor,
Mm-hmm.
because she's had no real guidance
Right.
other than herself, really.
Yeah. I think that I wanted to see that going to 8.
Yeah,
Like leaving 7, I thought that's where we were going because Kylo Ren, I wasn't sold on him being this big bad guy yet.
yeah.
Um,
I really wanted to see this going into 8, and that's probably why I didn't like 8 as much.
mm-hmm.
But I still think it's possible that they could do it in 9.
For one act of a movie.
I don't know. It's possible they could do it early.
Yeah. Yeah,
They could do it pretty early
Mm-hmm.
and just set the tone for the rest of the film.
Yeah. Do you think if that doesn't happen, but if they like flesh out these characters in a way that feels true to them, you would still be satisfied, or do you want like a full blown?
I mean, if they could do it in a different way, and it's
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
fine. I just like that's what I would do,
Mhm.
because there's another part to this.
Oh, continue, please.
I really want to see. Oh, sorry.
Continue.
I really want to see Rey turn to the dark side and Kylo Ren have to like kill her to bring balance to the Force, and then he just closes the book on all of it.
Okay. I don't know how I stand on how I want Ben's story to end, because I do think he's reached a bit of a point where I don't, from a meta perspective, as far as like fans of this series looking at it, I don't know if he can realistically be redeemed, because he killed Han Solo,
Yeah.
let his mother, well, she didn't die yet, but like I don't know how Carrie Fisher's story is going to end in 9, and he basically single-handedly took the new grasp of the galaxy into his own hands.
Darth Vader did a lot of bad stuff too, and he was redeemed.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
I'm just saying.
No, I know. Like, Vader, sure, he did like the one good thing to get his way into Force Ghost Heaven, but I still
he did one good thing.
yeah, like I still don't think that. Honestly, if we saw more of what Vader did instead of hearing about it and having it fleshed out in side stories, I think I would feel the same way of like, is that earned?
Yeah.
So like, but we see Kylo Ren commit like atrocities against beloved things from fans' perspectives.
Yeah.
Like his whole thing is burn it down. He's sacrilegious to the fandom, you know?
I mean, but I guess wouldn't it be a really great statement if he was still able to be redeemed after all the bad things that he's done?
Yeah, and several of the characters, Luke and Leia specifically, have said no one's ever really gone, you know? They still believe Ben could be saved. Rey believes it too. I just don't know if I buy it yet.
Okay. I mean, you still have an entire movie to watch.
Yeah.
That could definitely sell it to you.
Mm-hmm. I think for where my head's at right now, what I would like to see happen for Ben is he realizes that the Skywalkers are kind of destined to fail because of everything we've seen so far. People have made like last-ditch efforts to try to put some good into the world.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen again.
Okay.
Because Anakin, his one good thing was killing the Emperor.
I guess he wasn't very successful doing that.
Yeah. Luke is kind of responsible for the murder, basically a second Jedi purge. He gave the Resistance a chance to live again. I think it would be rhyming, poetic, and fitting for where I stand with Kylo if, like, it's him and Rey, similar to the throne room, going off against, like, Mecha Sidious or whatever this thing's going to be.
Yeah.
And he sacrifices himself in some sort of way that like redeems him and passes the torch to not necessarily leave off the way we left off with Luke of like Rey rebuild the Jedi, more so of like survive the Skywalker legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did so many horrible things, let me do this thing, and you and your team just use this as an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's where I think it's going.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the safest bet,
That's
and I
probably
think
the safest bet. Yeah.
and I think that's what will make where I stand with Kylo now. That's where I think his turn to the light would be earned.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I guess what you're saying is that he would have to only get his redemption in death. He would have to die.
Yeah, and I know it's boring. I know we've seen that a lot already.
Yeah.
But there's just no way for me to think right now that it's like, oh hey, I'm good now. Ray, you want to have a kid? Like,
Yeah. I guess I don't really want to see. I want to see, or maybe I want to see like Kylo and Rey like rule the galaxy both together. Reylo, Sith Reylo. Let's get it, guys.
That's something.
Let's go. But yeah.
We talked last week too. Gray Jedi, the Jedi end, the Sith end.
I think that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's another theory
What's the other theory?
that the title of the film, The Rise of Skywalker,
Oh,
Skywalker is the new order.
that's dumb, in my opinion. It would make sense though.
Yeah, I don't think it's dumb, but like, if we pick up in an episode 10 with a different cast 1,000 years down the line, and that's like our attachment to this saga, it's like the Skywalker order. I think that's fun,
I guess so.
you know? But like, I really wonder if they're gonna actually go in on that, because there's so many people that you included, at least last week when we talked, think Star Wars should like clearly have good and clearly have bad, and that gray is kind of ambiguous in itself as far as its role in the main story of Star Wars.
I do think it has its place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as the main thing, I don't know if that's something that they would go for. I could see it work as an ending, which if this is an ending, it's like, hey, it's case to case, and then that's the end of the story.
I mean, I think that's what I want to see happen, honestly.
Yeah, I think that fits an ending. I don't think if we pick up a new saga 1,000 years later and everybody's just gray, I think that's not,
No,
you know?
I think what needs to happen is just like the Star Wars world needs to understand and needs to realize that there's nuance, you know?
Sure.
So it's not just black and white. It's not just Sith and Jedi.
Yeah.
It's
And-
like Ahsoka Tano, you know?
And trust me, I love the Grey Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of younger people really like the Grey Jedi stuff.
Yep.
So I would love to see them embrace that. I just don't know from like a studio level. I don't know how much they'd love that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But speaking of the title, though, The Rise of Skywalker. Who do you think that's about? You think it's about Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't think that Luke's gonna reincarnate in real life?
No, I think it's the I think this kind of goes into another theory that I have, that I think this is going to be it's going to be Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, Force Ghost Con.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it may have some multiple meanings, in the sense that like there are some Skywalker Force ghosts that will appear.
Yeah. Hayden
Um,
Christensen is absolutely in this movie, is he not?
He's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be upset if he wasn't.
I will stand up and clap when he shows up.
He's definitely. He's in this movie.
He's earned it.
He's in this movie.
He's gotten so much crap. I thought we did our discussion. He's okay in episode 3.
He's okay in episode 3. I think he deserves to be in this movie. I think he needs to have a Force Ghost thing with Kylo.
Yes, and he deserves to have good direction.
Yep.
So I think, honestly, it could probably be his best performance of his life if he shows up in this movie.
They could reinvigorate Hayden Christensen's career.
Yeah. I really hope he shows up in this.
Yeah.
Because he's like in his 40s now, you know, so he looks older than he did at the end of Jedi.
He could pull it off.
Yeah.
Still.
Gray him up a little bit. Have a nice scene with him and Luke.
I'm down.
You know what I really want to see?
What?
I didn't know when I should bring this up, but like, because this is the ridiculous thing that I was talking about. So it gets into that like wacky sort of thing. I really hope there's a shot of this, wherever they face off at Insidious. I'm imagining it's just like big room, you know?
Probably.
It's a big empty like cathedral or something. There's nothing there. It's just a throne, but it's big. So he's there,
Big
right?
throne.
He's there.
It's the biggest throne in all
yeah.
of Star Wars.
He's there. I don't know how they're going to make him a threat to fight, because I don't think it's just going to be like troopers. I think it's going to have to be him with a saber, as much as we might not be happy about that.
I'm not interested with that. Or maybe it's Matt Smith
Mecha Sidious though?
It's Matt Smith, guys. I think Palpatine's Matt Smith.
Okay. We can get to that in a second. Um, so what I really want to see, I want to see Palpatine on one side of the screen, right, with his red lightsaber, and then on the left side of the screen, I want to see Rey and Ben redeemed. Give him like a new color, but the cross guard still.
Okay.
I want to see what his like Jedi saber would be.
Yeah.
Make it green, if you want to really tie it back to 6. And then beside them is the Force ghosts of Anakin and Luke.
No.
And I know it's super fan servicey, but it could be cool.
I don't want that.
Well, because the thing, I think it could be like, I know it's super cheesy, and I trust me. I know I told you it's goofy and weird, but the Skywalkers finally stamping out Palpatine, I think is one of the things that I need to see in this movie.
I think we need to see Ben Solo do it. I don't think we need Force Ghosts help. I think we need.
But Palpatine is so evil that he was able to come back.
I guess. If they could, I don't know. I wouldn't. That's not what I'm looking forward to.
I'm imagining
I don't
like
want that really.
in this show JoJo, it's an anime. People have stands. In the game series Persona, this happens too, where it's a warrior or a person, and behind them is this like ghost or demon or something. So I want to see Ben Solo standing there, and then like behind him is just like Anakin Skywalker, like crossed armed, like staring down his old master.
No.
If that happens though, because the thing is, there's been times where I've done like a weird prediction in a movie and it's come true.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm stamping down on. If this happens, I'm looking at you and Pat.
Well, good. I hope it does happen for your sake, but in the sense that what I want to
I
see
know it's
from
goofy.
this,
I know.
I don't want to see
Yeah.
that. What I do want to see, and this is here's a prediction that is wild. They go back in time somehow, flashback, whatever, to Naboo. Matt Smith plays a young Palpatine.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
That's
That'd be
a little
cool.
thing that I'm saying.
Yeah, let's talk time travel.
It's possible that it could happen. I think there might be some world between worlds stuff that happens in this movie.
Okay. It's only a 2.5-hour movie though. We both feel like there's a decent amount of ground to cover, and there's probably going to be a 40-minute final battle.
Probably. Yeah.
So like,
which is not something I really want to see.
yeah, I just feel like that's what's coming because that's what happens in blockbusters now, especially the big climactic endings.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
They could do it right.
With the world between worlds, how do you think they established that? Because I didn't know about it until you brought it up to me. And if the general populace who's going to make this movie make a bill, I don't know if all of them have seen Rebels.
They definitely haven't. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they do it. Maybe Palpatine like kind of pushes them in one way or the other.
Do you think for a general audience that's going to be a big hang up after the movie? Like time travel?
Yeah, I don't think, which is why like I'm not super confident that they would do that.
Mhm.
I don't think that they would.
Also, Endgame did time travel too.
Yeah, which is why.
2 big Disney blockbusters being the final chapter. I'm going to stop comparing it to Endgame, but like that's
Well-
just where it is in my head right now.
In a way, though, it's kind of like it's more probable. It's more probable because Endgame did do
Yeah.
it. As much as I hate to say that,
Yeah.
like it did work for Endgame.
Yeah, and I loved Endgame, but
Yeah,
I just feel
Endgame
like
was good.
we've talked about this when comparing the new films to Marvel too. Like it's just such a different beast.
Yep.
And I think when 9 started, especially since they had to rewrite it after Carrie Fisher passed away, and after The Last Jedi came out,
Yeah.
and all the spin-offs, they've learned their lessons. I would hope.
I'd hope so. I have faith.
Yeah, because going into like they have hindsight now. It's been like what 6 years since this all began, maybe 7.
Probably, yeah. 2013.
Yeah. So they have like a decent amount of, like I said, hindsight that they can look to as far as the directions they should be going,
Like I said,
which is a little scary.
It
but-
is. It is a little scary. I'm just kind of excited to see this end. Honestly, I want to see Disney do their own thing with like their own movies and their
The
own
Rian Johnson
ideas.
trilogy.
The Rian Johnson trilogy. Let's go.
See, I know this isn't basically what we're talking about,
Yeah.
but you're excited for that as far as him doing an original thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
I like Rian Johnson.
Yeah, that's what the takeaway I had last week. It was just
Yeah. I mean, like I would like to see his take on Star Wars. I think the Skywalker saga wasn't really the place for it.
Okay. I'm excited to see him go from ground zero, though, for sure.
Yeah, same. But I think I'm just excited to see Disney do their own thing.
Yeah, me too. Do you want to talk about Luke for a bit?
Sure. Yeah.
What do you think's happening with him in this? Is he just gonna be
He's just gonna be force ghosting around.
for how much though? Because like in six, was the only force ghost besides the ending was Obi-Wan being like from a certain point of view, right? That was it.
That's basically it.
Do you think it's more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think because he's not only going to appear to Rey, he's also going to appear to Kylo.
Yeah,
He's going to start getting in Kylo's head a little bit.
Do you think that he could be training Rey more? Like we've seen in the forest, she's in that jungle area doing like saber training. Do you think he could just be like standing above and being like
Probably
guiding her?
I mean, it's possible that he might still be guiding her.
Yeah, because like if he is able to appear and be useful, you know, like he could be training her still. And that's maybe where the year gap fills all that in.
I haven't seen any like set photos of him,
Either.
so I don't know what he's doing. But he's definitely in this movie. You can count on that.
Yeah, that trailer has new dialogue from him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's definitely in this movie.
yeah. How many times have you thought of the Sidious trailer that we watched when there was dialogue? Because sometimes when I'm thinking about it, I just try to do like the "Long have I waited, long have I waited." I've said that to myself like at least 10 times over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see Ian McDermott come back.
Me too. Do you think remaining original trilogy people, how many of them make it out of this movie?
All of them, except for Leia.
Okay. And like obviously, do you think the Force Ghosts are going to disappear, or like
No.
they're still going to stick around,
They'll
right?
Stick around.
Okay.
I think Leia dies. I think Lando still stays alive.
Do you think Leia becomes a Force Ghost or no?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Just for the imagery, you know, because they could use Leia more. I guess I don't know.
They could probably do some Disney magic and put Luke and Leia together as a Force Ghost.
Looking over a Ewok campfire.
Yeah.
What about the droids? Chewbacca, Lando. How about them?
Oh, Chewbacca lives.
I hope, man.
I'm pretty sure he would live through this.
Yeah, me too.
C-3PO. I hate to say it. I think he's probably gone.
That might make me cry. 3PO was never my favorite, but like, that's gonna really be like, oh wow, it's over. I think that's gonna be the thing that makes it click.
Yeah, I think Rey and Finn have a little bit more of a relationship with each other in this one.
Romantic.
I think it's possible
Mm-hmm.
that they do. I also just like, I've been listening intently to some of the answers that like J.J. Abrams has been giving on this press tour.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds like maybe it could happen.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be cool if there's no big romantic thing at the end of this one.
Yeah.
Because like that was the thing with the prequels, you know, and then in the original trilogy, it was just like a fun little, oh, Han and Leia.
I kind of want to see some sort of romantic thing come from it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, until I started talking to people more about 7 and 8, I never really thought of Finn.
And Poe.
No, I've thought about that plenty.
Oh.
Finn and Rey, like, having a romantic thing at all. I know Finn was like trying to like impress her a lot, but I never took it as like wanting to date her. I always took it as like neither of them have had friends their entire life. This is their one connection.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it
So
was.
I like them having like this just a strong friendship.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think I want to see Kylo and Rey.
You're one of them.
I'm a Reylo. I'll say it.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent about it.
If it happened, would you be upset?
I wouldn't be upset, but like Kyle's a bad dude. You know?
Yeah.
So if there is the whole unification of the Jedi and the Sith, though, if they want to symbolize it that way,
Yeah.
I think it'd fit.
Yeah, I would be fine if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Trust me on that one.
Okay. Yeah. What about the new cast? Is basically where my head's at now. How do we think we all leave off with them? Do any of them die? Do you think they get promoted?
think realistically, Rey survives.
Hmm.
Finn probably survives. I think Poe is the highest likelihood of dying.
I would like Poe to stay.
I would like Poe to stay.
Yeah.
I think he may stay just because Oscar Isaac really likes playing the role,
Yeah.
and so he's probably going to appear in things.
Man, yeah, that I'm telling you,
Yeah,
that Rogue Squadron Poe Dameron game,
yeah. Who
give it to
knows?
me.
Yeah, but yeah, I think all of them pretty much stay
Okay.
alive.
Do you have like a percentage in your head on Ben surviving? Like 50-50?
I think it's 50-50.
Okay, I can get there with you.
Yeah, I do want to see him survive.
It would be nice.
It would be cool. I want to see, like I said before, I want to see Rey die, and I want to see Kylo survive.
Hmm. Where are you imagining the movie ends?
Where?
Well, not necessarily.
Tatooine. It's sunset. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, well, that's where it was in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I honestly think that a nice final shot, because I think about this sometimes, the final shot of the Star Wars saga, what is it?
Yeah, that's a big thing to.
Right?
Yeah,
I was listening
that's
to.
probably what keeps J.J. Abrams up at night.
Oh, yeah, I bet, man. If you had to be the one that makes that decision,
I wouldn't want to be the one that makes that decision.
no. Because there's definitely a safe way to do it. There's definitely ways to do it poorly.
Yeah.
I was listening to the Last Jedi episode of Cantina Conversations that my friends run.
I
Check them
listened
out.
to an episode of that actually. It's
Uh,
very good.
I recommend their. If you enjoyed our discourse for Last Jedi, I recommend theirs because Will Beeman really doesn't like Last Jedi. I think he ranked it around where you and Pat did. I think he put it at like 7.
I don't know. I didn't watch that episode.
Okay.
Or listen to that episode.
But yeah, I recommend checking that one out. They were talking, or Will specifically was bringing up the idea that the Broom Boy thing at the end of Last Jedi
Mm-hmm.
felt more of a end of the trilogy shot ending than a end of the middle part ending. And I never thought of it that way. But in my head, I am imagining it's Tatooine, maybe like old farmer Ben or someone looks out at the twin suns.
Yeah, Ben Solo becomes a moisture farmer.
One last time, yeah.
That would be interesting.
I know it's like really simple, but I would kind of like a simple ending.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a simple.
Mm-hmm.
At least the final shot is gonna be
The twin
some
sons.
character of importance.
Please be 2 sons. Because the thing that always gets me.
Ryan Johnson already ruined it though. He ended the Last Jedi with the twin sons thing.
I thought we liked that.
I don't really like.
I love that. But
They can't do it again.
right, but that wasn't necessary. That was Luke's ending. So I think if
But it's the same though.
no, because the ending of the Last Jedi is Broom Boy.
True.
So
That's so dumb.
I think in my head, my prediction, my guess, is there are at least a sunset with the Force theme and either Rey or Ben
Holding hands.
looking out on it.
with their kids.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think the final shot's going to be? If you had
Yeah.
to put a stamp down on
It's
something.
it's Kylo Ren and Rey. They're at their Naboo palace. They're holding hands, looking over the fields, and the Force theme plays. And for some reason, there's twin sons on Naboo now.
All right.
And we have little Luke running around, little Leia, and little Padme.
We get to a point where Luke is the child name now.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to end this discussion? Is there more you want to spitball? Is there anything on your mind still about 9?
No, I just want to watch this movie and get it over with.
Do you think that episode 3 style, we end with a little sound effect after the credits?
What do you mean?
At the end of, do you know about that?
What?
At the end of episode 3, after the credits finish, you hear,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think we get anything like that, or do you think the final scene is the final shot?
I think the final scene is the final
Yeah.
shot.
I don't mean like post-credit scene or anything.
Star Wars does not do post-credit
no.
scenes, which is what I love about Star Wars, because I don't like post-credit scenes.
It's going to be weird seeing the... Oh, you know what I just realized too?
What?
Whatever that final shot is, they're going to have to make it work with the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do one more time.
Yeah, they have to do the little, like, close in on.
Yeah. How perfect would it be to just close in on a sun?
But that's exactly how Revenge of the Sith ended.
You're right.
I don't think they're gonna do that, if I'm being honest.
I think
Like I said, they're gonna be on Naboo instead.
Right.
It's gonna be Rey and Kylo.
Okay, here's another one I thought of. Ewan McGregor. Force Ghost?
Yeah, probably.
Add him to that Force Ghost lineup.
Yeah, him, Hayden,
Yoda and
Yoda,
Luke standing behind.
Leia somehow.
Yeah, standing behind Ben as he runs up to slice down Palpatine,
Yeah.
holding him down with their Force powers. So he's like just like this, and
Ben
then
has like light side lightning. That's what I want to see. I want to see
what
him.
color?
Yellow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yellow.
There's a lot of things we could think out of this movie, and having this discussion, I don't know if I'm more hyped, but I'm definitely thinking about it more now, I guess.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm not really like I've actually stopped thinking about it a little bit just because I want to reserve the brain space.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be a lot at once.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of worried that once we do our first impressions review on Friday, like
I'm getting psyched out about that.
Huh?
I'm getting like psyched out in my head about it.
Yeah, cuz like whatever I say on that, like I'm going to feel differently like the next day.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's got to take it with a grain of salt.
Especially after last week, but I was thinking this before. I think there's a fairly high chance that I fall on a completely different side with this movie than you and Pat do.
Probably.
It's mainly because of 8.
Yeah.
So they could like right the wrongs.
I mean, like, I wasn't really super hyped on The Force Awakens, like, immediately after I saw it. It took, like, a few times. So, like,
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to react after this movie.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I remember, like, after watching The Last Jedi, though, I had a bad taste in my mouth. That stuck with me.
I had to see it a second time before I declared my love for it.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw it, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It was shocking.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think. I saw it with my brother, and we walked out, and I was like, man, that was like something else.
I remember just screaming in my car. I swear. Me and my...
Jump cut to just Mike
Well, it was me
sitting in a December car, steaming up the windows with his screams.
It was me and Arena. We both were screaming in my car. Yelling about it.
That's perfect.
But yeah.
Hopefully we're not screaming at the end of this. Hopefully we're crying.
Maybe crying.
Yeah.
I'll probably cry.
I've
Hit me with those themes, George Williams.
George Williams.
George Williams. John Williams.
That's a George William. No.
What?
George William is 2 of my middle names.
Oh. You have 2 middle names?
3.
You have 3 middle names?
Christian Nicholas George William Buckley.
Update that Wikipedia page, guys.
Yeah, get on it.
What's your birthday?
April 9th.
Year?
97.
Nice. You're older than me.
Really?
Yeah.
It does not feel like it.
Older than me.
Well, like I said, hopefully we're crying and not screaming by the end of
we'll see.
9. I bet you I'm going to cry.
I'll definitely cry.
At least twice.
Yeah, I'll definitely cry. I'm just excited to see it, and I honestly, for the first time in my life, don't want to think about Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a weird hype.
Yeah, I kind of just want to, like, cleanse the mind and just go.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed this discussion. I'm sure there's things we haven't covered.
There are totally things we haven't covered, but we will cover them on Friday.
Once we have answers.
Once we have answers.
And honestly, you know, I'm going to say this. I hope we have a few questions too.
Me too. Yeah, I don't want everything to be...
Not at all.
I do want to know how the heck they got Anakin's lightsaber, though.
We'll get that in a book.
We'll get that in a book. We're not going to get that in a movie, which is upsetting.
Yeah. I would like at least 4 questions. Maybe one big one and then like 3 smaller ones.
Are they all things that, like, you wish were answered, or are they new questions?
I hope at least one of them is something that we wanted an answer to and we just didn't get. Because I do like having that mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves some doors open for more stuff in the future. Because I think Star Wars has always excelled at that of like, we'll get to it,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and they do.
So I'd like to have some of those, even with a finale. Not like, I don't want to know what Yoda's species is by the time we sit down to record. Leave that for Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah, seriously. Or never.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
That's been an episode.
That has been an episode.
This is coming out Wednesday, hopefully. this time tomorrow, we're probably on our way.
By that time, people have. Well, tonight, right? People.
Oh yeah, we're recording this Monday. The premiere is tonight, so.
Yeah, people are watching this movie today.
Oh,
But we are watching it on Thursday.
No. Oh man.
Time to mute Twitter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, 80 words. I'm gonna type up all those keywords to mute tonight.
Yeah.
But, Mike, if the people would like to find you somewhere, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Mike P. Connors.
Fantastic. Any tweets locked and loaded? Anything you want to have out there for The Rise of Skywalker?
No, I'm not tweeting about The Rise of Skywalker.
Will you tweet out a selfie of your face after the movie ends?
No, I will not tweet out a selfie of my face after the movie ends.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll try to get you in it. I won't tag you, but I'll try to get you in
You
it.
can tag me in yours. I don't like doing that.
Okay. If you want to see if that happens, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris N. Buckley. Patreon. Patreon.com/joyclicks is where you can go if you would want to get early access to our Friday shows, support the shows, feeling generous.
Yes.
Oh, so generous.
Oh, so generous.
YouTube.com/joyclicks is where you are if you're watching us. Podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can rate us on Apple Podcasts because that's very helpful. Spotify should add a ratings system. I don't know why they don't have one.
I don't use Spotify, so.
All right, well.
part of the 1% Apple over here. No, I'm just kidding.
But that's going to do it. So the next time you hear from us, we would have seen the last Rise of Skywalker.
It's been a ride.
It has been. Thank you for joining me on this. So we're going to have this conversation again once we finish on 9.
And there's more to come for sure.
Absolutely. But until then, I hope you enjoy the movie if you're watching this. We're fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
May the Force be with you.
Is there someone else you want to add?
No.
All right, see you.
General Kenobi.